Hello and welcome to Skywalker Yoga and Fitness. My name is Luke and this is your weekly slow flow yoga class. For class today, you don't have to have any prompts with you, but if you have some yoga blocks and a strap, they may come in handy. And as always, if anything I offer does not feel right in your body today, feel free to skip over it and take whatever you feel like you need. This is your time to practice, so anything I offer is just a suggestion, not a requirement. All that being said, let's go ahead and get started today. We're going to start in a child's pose. So come through a tabletop position to get into it. Knees all the way together, big toes touching. Then send your hips back towards your heels, bring your forehead down to the mat, and extend the arms long overhead. Gentle pressure through the palms of the hands to just gently push that tailbone and your hips down towards your heels a little bit more. From here, try to soften through the shoulders and the back of the neck. Let go of some tension there. Take some nice big breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just slowing down and welcoming yourself onto your mat and into your practice. At the top of your next inhale, seal the lips and begin breathing in and out through the nose while engaging the back of your throat as though you're fogging a mirror with your breath. And starting to gradually warm the body using the breath here. And while breathing in and out through the nose, start to draw that breath on the inhale down to the tailbone and fill up from the lower back through the rib cage all the way up to the chest. And as you exhale, release from the chest and the top of the torso down. Push all of the air out of your belly, letting the breath move up and down your back like a wave, filling up from the bottom up. Releasing from the top down. Breaths in and out through the nose. Start to call to mind a dedication for your practice today, something you'd like to commit your work to. And take a moment or two to set that intention for yourself now. Take one more big breath in through the nose. Then open the mouth and sigh the breath out. Re-extend the arms if you've relaxed. And then just gently step your knees out to the sides of the mat, keeping your big toes together. Let your forehead come back down to the mat. Your chest should sink a little bit lower here. Hips go a little bit lower here. And then tiptoe your fingers toward each other on the mat. Connect the palms in prayer position. Keep your elbows grounded and then lift the palms until they're pointing back from the bottom of the crown, the bottom of your skull. So your prayer is pointing to the wall behind you. Feel that stretch through the armpits and the side body. One more breath in here. As you exhale, bring your hands back down to the mat in front of you. On your next inhale, start to crawl up to a tabletop position. Get your limbs stacked so your knees are below the hips, wrists are below the shoulders, fingers spread wide, toes tucked under. And from here, we're going to take a few rounds of cat and cow. So inhaling to drop the belly, tailbone, chest, and gaze, come up. As you exhale, chin to chest, tuck your tailbone under and push through the hands to round the spine up. Really squeeze the butt here to maximize your pelvic tilt. Inhale to drop the belly, tailbone, chest, and gaze up. Exhale to round through the spine, tuck everything under. Continue moving with your breath. And take 2 or 3 more cycles on your own. And then if any kind of organic movement feels good to you in your cat-cow, you can take some variations on it as needed. Some ideas for variations are maybe shifting back to a child's pose on your exhale. Maybe taking some hip circles to either side. Exhaling on your way back and around, inhaling on your way forward. Evening out your movement if you're doing something side to side. And making your way back to center, come to a neutral spine. Keep those toes tucked under. And from here, we're going to work on the wrists a little bit. So keep your left hand grounded where it is. Flip the right hand so your fingers are pointed back and your palm is face up. Don't put a lot of weight on that right arm, but spread the fingers nice and wide so that your pinky tip and your thumb tip are really pressing down into the mat. And we're going to take some really gentle little circles on the wrist here. Take like 2 or 3 in one direction and then switch directions for a few. Good. And before moving on to the other side, flip that palm back over and then rotate the palm back so the palm is down on the mat, but your fingers are pointed toward your knee again. And then same thing here, we're going to take a few circles in each direction. Switch directions. Good. Roll your wrist out a few times just freely. And then we'll ground out through that right hand. Start with the palm face up, fingers pointed back with the left hand. And let's make a few circles in each direction. Really spread those fingers nice and wide just to give yourself a broader base of support. Don't dump your weight into the left arm. Okay, once you've taken a few circles in each direction, fingers pointed back, palm face down. You can put a little more weight into the left hand in this position. Take a few circles in each direction here. Good. Roll out that left wrist a few times. And then position both hands so the fingers are pointed back, palms down on the mat. From here, just very gently keep the base of your palms grounded, spread the fingers wide. We're going to just gently shift the hips back, really stretching out through the inside of the forearms. You can rock back and forth a few times with this, so ease out of it, let off that stretch. Come back into it, only to your degree of comfort. This shouldn't be painful, though it may be slightly uncomfortable. Take one or two more. Rotate the hands back forward. Bring your knees all the way together, feet together. Walk your hands back and take a seat on your heels. If that's not comfortable for you, you can place a block under your hips between the legs to elevate your seat a little bit. Otherwise, take a seat on your heels, tops of the feet flat on the mat, back nice and straight. Roll your shoulders up and back a few times. And roll them up and forward a few times. And then finally, just set them back, shoulder blades connected, palms face forward. Close your eyes here, and we'll start to warm up our spines a little bit. And again, if this kneeling position isn't comfortable for you, you can sit cross-legged on the mat too, that's fine. Take a breath in, reach your arms out and up, connect the palms overhead. Exhale, palms to heart center. Inhale to reach up. Exhale the arms out and down. Inhale the arms up. Exhale your right hand down to the mat. Reach over with the left. Take that stretch through the left side of the body. Inhale to press back up through center. Exhale the left hand down. Reach over with the right. And continue moving side to side with your breath. Inhaling up through center and exhaling down to one side or the other. Take about 3 or 4 cycles in each direction. And after your third cycle, you can hold at the bottom for a few breaths if you'd like to just deepen and stretch a little bit. Whichever arm you're reaching over with, keep that shoulder open, so don't let it drop forward. Keep it open as if you're trying to look up at the ceiling. Next time you come down to the right, you can either keep moving or hold here for a few breaths. Inhale to come back up. Exhale to the left and hold or keep moving if you're still moving. Come back up on your inhale. Exhale the hands out and down. Walk back forward to a tabletop position. Ground out through the left hand again. On an inhale, sweep your right arm up to the ceiling, reach up. Exhale it down, thread it below the left hand, lower your shoulder toward the mat. Move with your breath, inhaling to come up. Exhaling to sweep it down. One more cycle all the way through. Inhale up. And as we come down, we're going to lower that right shoulder to the mat. Lower your head to the mat. Your left hand can stay where it is, or you can walk those fingers out toward the upper right corner of your mat. Pressing through that hand to give a little bit more of a spinal twist here and open up through that left shoulder. On your next exhale, walk that left hand back beside your face. On an inhale, press that right arm all the way back up to the ceiling. Exhale the right hand down to the mat. We'll switch out the sides. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale it down, thread it through. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time through. This time inhale up. Exhale down, lower and hold. Take whichever arm variation with your right as you did with your left. Start to walk that right hand back beside your face. On your next inhale, sweep that left arm all the way back up. Exhale the left hand down to the mat. Grab your blocks, make sure they're situated on either side of your mat so they're accessible to you. Walk your hands forward in handprint, spread those fingers nice and wide, tuck your toes under if you're not already. Take a breath in here. Exhale, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. And take a few breaths here to pedal out your feet. Walk your dog. And shake the hips side to side, shake the head yes and no. Let's find that stretch across the entire back side of the body. Pressing through the hands, letting your chest drop back toward your thighs. That's okay if your heels don't touch the ground in your downward facing dog. Not everybody has the bone structure in their ankles or the mobility in their ankles to be able to get the heels all the way down. I anatomically cannot do it, and that's okay. Everybody's body's a little bit different. Some just have more open ankle joints, which is why you see some people with their heels all the way on the ground. Doesn't necessarily mean they're getting more out of it than you are. Take one more breath in here. Exhale. Inhale to shift forward to a tall plank position. Tuck your pelvis under, so squeeze your butt while you're here so there's no scoop in your lower back. So tuck it. Inhale to shift the shoulders forward of the wrists. Exhale, bend at the elbows. Let them brush your ribcage and lower all the way down to the floor. Untuck your toes, press the tops of your feet into the mat so the knees lift. Hands are just below the shoulders. Squeeze the elbows toward each other. Inhale to peel the chest up off the mat. Exhale to roll back down. Let's take that 2 or 3 more times. Inhale to come up. Exhale down. On your 4th round, see if you can float the hands. Walk your hands back so your wrists are stacked below the elbows. On your next inhale, press through the hands. Begin to straighten the arms this time. Hips can stay grounded, or if you're ready for up dog, shrug the shoulders down and lift the hips up. Squeeze your butt to help support your lower back here. Take a breath in. Exhale the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower your knees down to the mat. Set back up in a tabletop position. And on an inhale, extend your right leg back, point the toes. Exhale to round it forward, cat back, bring that knee up toward your chest. Inhale to send it back. Exhale to round it forward. One more time. Inhale it back. Exhale forward, and then step your foot through this time. So your foot is in between your hands. You can grab your blocks here, walk them to their highest setting, Then plant your hands on the block, walk them back so they're just below the shoulders. From here, shift back out of this lunge a little bit so that both legs are bent about 90 degrees. Before we get into this lunge, think about squeezing your butt again to correct your pelvic tilt if you have an anterior tilt like I do. So really focusing on squeezing the left butt cheek is where you'll probably feel it a little bit more, and then plugging that right hip back in space so the hips are parallel to the short edge of your mat. Your blocks are here just for support, so you don't need to have your whole hand on them. Fingertips is fine. While keeping that engagement in your glutes, take a breath in. Exhale to deepen into the lunge. Keep squeezing the butt. Inhale to move out of it. Exhale to deepen. Each time you inhale, come up, re-squeeze to engage. That should be a pretty good hip stretch on the front side of the left hip. Hold at the bottom of your next one. Keep squeezing that left butt cheek. Walk your left block forward and set it down on its lowest or medium setting. Ground your hand on the block. Start to open up through the right shoulder, so rotating toward your front leg. And then kick that back heel up. If it's within reach, go ahead and grab the inside edge of that foot with your right hand. Adding on a bit of a quad stretch here, so deepening into this lunge. Keep the glutes engaged. And only pulling that foot as close to your butt as you're comfortable doing. A little bit of discomfort is okay, pain is not. This is a great stretch for anybody who sits a lot at their job daily or just out of habit. Our hip flexors tend to get very tight in the sitting position, as well as the lower back, which we'll get to in a bit. But working on the hip flexors is very important for correct pelvic alignment and for spinal alignment. Slowly release the grip on that left foot. Frame your front foot with the blocks again, walk back up onto the tallest setting. And then you can shift the weight back, straighten that front leg. If you'd like, take a seat all the way down on the left heel, or you can stay elevated with the blocks if that's enough for you. Keeping that right foot flexed and pulling those toes back towards your knee. You should be digging in enough that your mat actually wrinkles up like this when you shift back. If you're not feeling this through your hamstring and your calf, come back out of it, and then you can creep that front foot forward a little bit more just to deepen the stretch, and then shift back again. And maybe stay elevated this time if that feels like more of a stretch to you. So take whichever variation your body is responding to. Similar idea with this, keep the glutes engaged and keep pulling that right hip back so it's in alignment with your left. As your body allows it, you can use your exhales to let your chest drop down toward your front shin. Then inhale to bend back into the knee, and then slide the right foot all the way back so that you're back in a kneeling position. Set your blocks down for the moment, bring your hands back down to the mat, tabletop position. Inhale to extend the left leg back, point the toes. Exhale to round it forward. Inhale it back. Exhale, round it forward, tuck the pelvis, push through the hands and cat back. Inhale it back. Exhale it forward and step it through this time. Again, grab your blocks, walk them back to below the shoulders so your fingers have a little support here. Find a nice tall spine, 90-degree bend in each leg. Maybe this side feels different to you, that's okay. Our bodies are meant to be a little asymmetrical, it's just what happens. So from this double 90-degree bend position, this half kneeling position, squeeze your butt on the right side. Plug your left hip in so it's in alignment with your right. Take a breath in here. Exhale to deepen into that lunge. Don't let go of that squeeze. Inhale to come out of it. Re-engage if you need to. Exhale to deepen into it. Inhale. Exhale. Keep moving with your breath. And this isn't about how far you can go either. It's really just about feeling that stretch through the hip flexor on the right side now. Range of motion will come with time and repetition. But if you can't go very far, don't get discouraged. If you're feeling the stretch, you're doing it right. Hold at the bottom for a couple breaths now. Really squeeze that right glute, try to get the most out of this hip stretch as you can. Good, bring your right block down to the inside of your left foot. Ground your hand on that block. Start to rotate your torso toward the left leg. Can let the hips drop a little bit farther. Kick that right heel up. Reach back, grab the inside of the right foot with your left hand if it's accessible to you. I should have mentioned this on the other side, but you can use your strap here around your foot too if that makes it a little bit easier to reach. Or you can back up against a wall and put this back leg up against a wall to get a quad stretch as well. If you want to add on some additional resistance to this, you can kick that foot away from your hand. So pull with your hand and kick into the hand that's holding onto it. Keep squeezing that right glute. Slowly release that right foot. Walk your blocks back up to their highest setting. And then on your exhale, shift the hips back, straighten that front leg. Take whichever variation of this hamstring stretch as you did on the other side. So maybe you're sitting all the way down on your right heel. Maybe you're elevated like I am. Either way, flex your front foot, pull those toes back toward your hip to get as much out of it as you can. Squeeze the glutes, plug your left hip in. Keep the spine straight. With your exhales, hinge from the hips and bring your chest down toward that front shin. Again, if you need to step that front foot a little farther forward to get more out of this, that's perfectly fine. On an inhale, bend back into that front knee. Keep the hands grounded, slide the feet back. Then take a seat on your heels again. Knees together, big toes together. Arms down by the sides. Inhale the arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, sweep the arms down, hook your right arm under your left, and then wrap the forearms and connect the palms if you can. If this is as far as you can go, that's okay. Try to at least hook your thumb with your fingers if you can. Then from here, take a breath in and lift the elbows so they're in line with the shoulders. You should be able to peek through that little space between your forearms. Stay nice and tall through the spine. Feel through that stretch in the back of the shoulder blades. Take one more breath in. Exhale to unravel and release. Inhale the arms out and up. Exhale, palms to heart center. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, sweep the arms down and around, left under right this time. Wrap the forearms. Use your inhale to lift those elbows up in line with the shoulders. See if you can peek through that space between your forearms. Stay nice and long through the spine, reaching the crown of your head and your fingertips toward the ceiling. Breath in. Exhale to unwind and release. Do a couple of rotations with your head in each direction. Just loosen up through the neck. Good. And then if you're not already, turn sideways on your mat. Take your blocks out in front of you just in case we need them. And then come forward to a tabletop position. Your hands are going to be on the floor in front of you. Keep your knees on the mat. And we're going to gradually walk the knees out to the sides and take the feet with them. And if you can, let the insides of your, the inside edge of your feet come down to the mat. Heels may not touch all the way, but that's okay. From here, it's natural to have a tendency to want to arch your lower back here. Again, think about correcting that pelvic tilt. So, though it's difficult to squeeze the glutes in this position, try to neutralize the spine and at least get the pelvis tucked under. You can use your lower abdominal muscles to do that too. So think about pulling that belly button in toward your spine. That'll kind of do the same thing as squeezing your butt. And then we're going to rock in and out of this. So use your exhale to rock your hips back. Inhale to come forward. Exhale to rock back. Inhale to come forward. If you want to deepen this a little bit, you can walk your hands up to blocks and push back and extend them out in front of you. Or you can settle into this pose, bringing your elbows down to the blocks or the floor if it's comfortable enough for you. Keeping that neutral spine, stretching out through the space in inner thighs. If you feel like you've relaxed a little bit, you can edge your knees out a little bit more to the sides. If you need a break from it, inhale to shift forward slightly. Let those muscles relax and exhale, deepen back into it. Shift back forward, walk back up onto your hands, and then you can tuck the toes and step the knees back in, just easing that tension on the inner thighs. And then shift your hips off to the side and take a seat on your mat. And you can extend the legs out in front of you. If you've got a strap, it may come in handy here. If you're using a strap, go ahead and wrap it around the balls of your feet. And then sit up nice and tall, hold the strap in each hand like so. If you're not using a strap, that's okay. You can just slide the hands down the legs as we go. So sit up nice and tall, get a nice tall spine. Make sure those feet are flexed, toes are pulled back toward the hips. Take a breath in, sit up tall. Exhale the hinge from the hips, keeping the back as flat as possible and bringing the chest down toward the shins. Use each exhale to hinge a little bit closer down. Once you reach your maximum range of motion available to you through the hips, you can start to round the spine gently. Don't pull the spine into a round position. But if it curves over naturally with gravity, that's okay. You don't want to pull yourself into a round position or you're putting pressure on your intervertebral discs, which can cause a lot of problems. So just let your body relax into it, don't force it. Feel that stretch through the calves and the hamstrings. Breathe into the back of the legs. Slide your hands back up the legs, come back to a tall seated position. Bring your right foot out to the right edge of your mat, and then bring the sole of your left foot into the inner right thigh. Square your shoulders toward your right leg. Keep those toes pointed up toward the ceiling. Again, you can use your strap here to help guide yourself down or slide the hands down the legs. Take a breath in, sit up tall. Exhale the hinge from the hips down toward that right shin. Grab the foot if it's available to you, if not, that's okay. Full breath here. On an inhale, walk the hands back up the right leg. Bring your left hand to the mat, fingers pointed back, hand just below the shoulder. On an inhale, lift through the hips, sweep that right arm up and back, extending from the right fingertips all the way down through the right toes. Feeling that stretch all the way down the right side of the body. Squeeze the left glutes to get the most out of this stretch as possible. One more breath in. Exhale to let everything come back down to the mat. Bring that right foot back toward the center of the mat. And before we move on to the left side, guide that left knee up and then step the left foot over to the outside of the right leg. Sit up nice and tall, bring your left hand behind you again, closer to the base of your spine this time, fingers pointed back. And then hook your right elbow just outside the left knee, palm face out. Take a breath in, sit up really tall. Exhale, use that elbow to deepen your twist. Take a few breaths here, see if you can take your gaze to the wall behind you. Keep pressing through that left hand and keep your spine erect here. One more breath. that arm, come back forward. You can do a gentle counter twist here, just to reset. And then uncross the left leg, extend it out, bring your left leg out to the edge of the mat. Again, use your strap around the ball of your left foot if you need to. Sole of the right foot comes to the inside of the left thigh. Square your shoulders toward that left leg. Keep those toes pointed up toward the ceiling, not open out to the side. Take a breath in here, sit up tall. Exhale the hinge from the hips, chest goes down toward the front shin. Breath here. On an inhale, walk your hands back up the left leg. Right hand comes to the mat below the shoulders. Inhale, reach up and back through the left hand. Lift the hips, squeeze the butt, extend all the way through the left side of the body this time. Stretching from the fingers through the toes. One more breath in. Exhale, guide everything back down. Left leg comes to the center of the mat, right knee up, and extend your right knee, your right foot to the outside of your left thigh. Right hand comes to the base of the spine, fingers pointed back, sitting up really tall. Left elbow hooks outside the right knee, palm face out. Take a breath in, sit up tall. Exhale, use that elbow to deepen your twist. And continue pressing through that right hand, keeping your spine erect. Here. Inhale to unwind, to take a gentle counter twist here. And maybe if you're lucky, you got a few good pops out of that stretch. Extend your right leg back forward, bounce out the legs a little bit if you need to. And then bend at the knees, bring your hips toward your heels so you're sitting up toward the end of your mat. Again, grab your blocks, have them handy on either side so they're within reach. Sit up nice and tall. Reach your arms forward, palms face each other. And slowly start to roll down onto your back, one vertebrae at a time. Once you're down, walk your heels up toward your hips. On an inhale, let your arms down by your sides. On an inhale, scoop that tailbone up, lifting from the tailbone first. So again, tilting that pelvis posteriorly. Squeezing the butt as you lift up, straight line from knee to shoulder. Squeezing the butt and driving down through the feet, keeping the entire foot grounded on each side. And you can walk your shoulder blades below your body and either connect the palms below the body and press down, or just grab the outside edges of your mat for a little support. Keep squeezing the butt, lifting the hips. Stay with it. Hug your belly button into your spine. one more breath in. Exhale to roll back down, one vertebrae at a time. Set your tailbone down last. Keep your lower back connected with the mat. Heel toe your feet out to the edges of the mat, and then just windshield wiper your knees side to side a few times. Come back to center. Walk your feet back into hip width distance apart. Grab the block. Inhale, lift your hips up and up again. Just to scoot a block under them on the medium or the lowest setting. Make sure that block is under your pelvis and not under your actual spine. And settle in here for a supported bridge. If you'd like to float your legs up to the ceiling or extend your legs out, you can. Just take whatever you feel like your body needs. We've been focusing a lot on the hip flexors today, so my advice would be to extend the legs out to further relax those hip flexors and those deep internal muscles here. And even in this position, continue to stay engaged through the lower belly so that we're not scooping the lower back and dumping ourselves back into that pelvic tilt. Just keeping the glutes and the belly somewhat engaged to keep that pelvis in the correct alignment. Start to walk your feet back towards your hips. Once your feet are grounded, inhale to lift the hips up, slide the block out, place it off to the side. And then again, heel toe your feet out to the edge of the mat. Take a few windshield wipers side to side. Back to center. Bring your knees up to your chest. Squeeze them in toward your chest, just grabbing your shins with your hands. Then you can massage the lower back, taking a few little hip circles in each direction, or maybe just some rocking side to side, whatever feels good to you. Once you've evened out, come back to center. Reach your hands between your legs. Grab the outside edges of your feet to draw your knees down toward your armpits for happy baby. And here, just take whatever kind of movement makes your baby happy. So you can extend the legs, place the soles of the feet together, rock a little bit side to side. Whatever feels good to you. To center. Bring your knees back into your chest for another little squeeze. Take a breath in. As you exhale, extend your left leg out on the mat. Keep a hold of your right shin with your left hand. Right arm comes out to a T. Take a breath in. Exhale, guide your right knee over to the left, letting your gaze fall over your right shoulders. Your shoulders stay grounded on the mat. through center. Hug that right knee toward your right shoulder again. And then bring your left knee up to meet the right. Take a breath in. Exhale, extend your right leg out on the mat this time. Hold that left shin with the right hand, left arm out to the side. Take a breath. Exhale that left knee over to the right. Shoulders stay grounded, gaze falls over the left shoulder. Final squeeze. So wrap your forearms around your shins, tuck your forehead to your knees, make yourself a tight little ball. Take a breath in, squeeze everything in as tight as you can. Exhale to extend everything out long on the mat. Legs come down, drop over to the sides gently. Arms down by the sides, palms face the ceiling. Allow your eyes to close. Follow a big wave of relaxation from the crown of your head all the way down to your toes. Softening and relaxing every muscle slowly as you make your way down. Settling into your final resting posture of class. Resisting the urge to move or audiate for the next few moments, just giving your body a chance to catch up to the work you've just put in. arms overhead, point through the fingers and toes, take a big full body stretch. And then roll over to your favorite side. Pause for a breath or two. Just give yourself a moment of gratitude for showing up in your practice today. Allowing your eyes to stay closed. Use your top hand to guide yourself up to a comfortable seat. And then bring your palms together at your heart center and slightly bow your head. We'll close our practice today with a final collective breath. Take a breath in through the nose. Let it go. Thank you for sharing your time and your energy with me today. May you know your own worthiness of love, fulfillment, success, and joy. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you everyone for practicing with me today. If you liked today's class, please remember to give the video a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe and share so I can reach as many people as possible.